I got to a super unhealthy spot, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. Something's got to give. Building a team isn't just about financial growth. That's always a nice benefit to it, but sometimes it's just buying back your time. Growing a team is giving me the ability to really focus on my health and grow in that aspect. When I first got started in real estate, I always say real estate kind of found me. I had no dreams of becoming a real estate agent. And I had some things happen in my life where marriage was kind of falling apart and I was falling apart. And so decided that I was going to hire a life coach, actually read a book. She said, I asked if I could, I reached out to her and said, would you be willing to work with me? How crazy is that? And she agreed. So she said, we're going to work on all of the things. And one of the things she asked me is, if you knew you couldn't fail, what would you do for work? At the time, I was staying home with my son, doing daycare from home. And I said, well, I think I would want to be a property manager. I had managed an 88-unit townhome development. I loved it. So she said, what would you need to do? I said, I'd need to get my real estate license. So I got my real estate license, and then it was like, now what? So a friend said, well, why? This team over here is looking for a buyer's agent. Why don't you become a buyer's agent? I took the classes. I didn't know what a buyer's agent was. So I said, sounds good to me. Signed up with a team at Coldwell Banker and sold 25 homes my first year and was like, okay, maybe I'm supposed to be a real estate agent. And then sold 25 homes my second year and then was like, okay, maybe I need to go out on my own, which was very scary at the time, right? So the team was giving me leads, but that's kind of how I got my start in real estate.
How exciting is that?
Yeah.
So then you spun off and built your own team.
Then I did. So after 2 years left, kind of did my own individual thing. I was coaching with Tom Ferry. Tom Ferry was encouraging building the team. That's kind of the next thing that you do. And I failed miserably. I hired all the wrong people. I was like, hey, we get along. Come join the team, right? And I mean, in the process of building, I had 3 of my agents in the middle of the night leave me. And I've fired multiple people who hate my guts now. So it hasn't been a pretty process building a team. I knew nothing about leadership. I knew nothing about business. I'm a really good real estate agent, just not the other things. So it doesn't come natural. It's definitely a muscle that I've had to work at.
I don't think it does for most people.
No, it doesn't.
Right. Yeah, because you can be a really amazing salesperson. That has nothing to do with being a manager or a leader.
Yeah, I really thought it would come more natural. Unfortunately, that
all right. We had a lot of conversations about that at that time where
yeah,
it was
we did.
Yeah, you had to make some hard decisions and had some hard decisions made on you.
That's true. That's true.
Which is fun. I'll never forget when my first staff person ever, I was so excited to go on a real vacation. So for me, it'd been like 6 years. No real vacation because you were in our business, you get kind of tied to it. And if you leave, everything falls apart.
Right.
And when I showed up the morning of, I went to a networking group. I'm going to go in the office last day before I'm going on my 9-day vacation.
Yeah.
Right. And I had a Dear Andy, you stress me out letter. I quit. And I was like, oh my God. Right? Like the day of vacation.
Right. It always happens that way too, right?
It was so mortifying. And what I learned about that, it was all on me.
Right.
It was my fault. It
100%.
wasn't, they were a great employee, right? Yeah. Like now they're probably like, thank you, Andy, for finally saying that.
Right.
But I did it wrong. I led them wrong. And I had to learn how to do that. And it's a totally different skill.
Yeah.
Right.
I own that. All me. I'm the bottleneck. I'm the problem.
Beautiful.
I've had to grow.
There you go. Mm-hmm. And now you have.
And now I have.
Right? What does your team look like today?
Team looks like we've got an ops manager. Fantastic. Sunny is her name. She's great. Andrea, marketing. She's been with me 4 years. And then we have 4 agents on the team. So.
Wow. Mm-hmm. You guys are crushing it. I feel like in the East Metro, you got to be a top 10 team at this point.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah. How about I'll say that? In East Metro, you're a top 10.
Yeah. I'll take it. Andy said.
Yeah. According
Andrea
to
put that on our marketing.
Yeah. according to Andy Burton.
That's right.
Yeah, it's,
in the fine print, put that real small.
But you really are. And what I like about the way you do business, you do a really, really good hybrid of the social media billboard and the internet marketing, but you're still relational and you have like the boots on the ground marketing that you're doing too, which is actually, I believe, like the needle mover.
Yep.
Is the relational business is where it's at.
Right.
Right. Versus, social media is great.
Right.
It's like marketing campaign. Right. So tell us a little bit about that. Because when I've been watching you over the years, your social media has changed of what I've noticed. It went from like super fun videos that you were getting really, really into for a while, which I feel like got a lot of attention.
They did.
Did it get a lot of business?
It did. It really helped. I mean, I still have people today that go, oh, man, I just loved those funny videos. So kind of when I was with Tom Ferry coaching, they encouraged me to do video. I said, no way, I'm not doing any video. And they said, my coach said, yes, you are. This is what you're going to do. And I said, no, I'm not going to do it. He said, well, then I'm not coaching you. I said, well, I guess I'm doing video. And my first video is so bad. I still have them. Oh my gosh, they're terrible. But then once you start making them, I was like, okay, this got a little easier. And then I don't know why, but I gravitated towards funny. I was like, I got to be entertaining. I got to be different. That's how I always look at everything with real estate is how can I stand out in a sea of realtors? And for whatever reason, I went funny. And I cringe at those videos now, but people still talk about how funny they were. And I did get clients from him, and it did put me on the map. But I've scaled back looking at the direction I want to go, as well as who is my ideal client. And also the cost to make those videos was it was very expensive to make them. So I kind of had to shift and pivot a little bit. So.
Yeah, and this is my observation from the outside, is I always think about the videos are super funny and super entertaining, but as a realtor, your job is really to sell the house and show off the house.
Right.
So where's like that happy median, like in between, right?
Right.
Of like actually showing the house for the seller.
Right.
In today's market now, it's different too, right?
Right.
Where back then, I feel like you could put a house in the market, it would kind of sell itself. Now you have to price it right, market it really, really well. Like the market changed.
Right.
Do you agree with that?
100%.
Yeah.
It's a different market.
Yeah. So how do you show off? Like, what are you doing right now that's showing off houses a little bit more? Or what are you doing differently today than, say, 5 years ago to be able to help? Because you do a ton of listings to be able to market them really well.
Yeah, that's a really good question. So, I mean, for starters, the marketing starts in the house. How clean is the house? How prepped and ready to go? That's the number one thing. Because if a house is dirty or it's not, if there's holes in the carpet or it's not presented well, it is not going to show well on pictures, and we're not going to get people in. So then our marketing efforts just don't work if we don't have a house that's presented well. So just over the last week, I've had an agent reach out and go, every time I walk into one of your houses, they're presented so well. And we work really hard on that. And that's the beginning of our marketing. So we offer house cleaning because that's so important to us. We have our stager. We offer, staging, whether it's furniture, decor, whatever is needed. But that's where the marketing starts. And then from there, we've got this whole process. I can't give away all my secrets. But video is a huge part of that. And the reason why is because more eyes on the property. And that's why we started with the funny videos, because we wanted more eyes on the property. And we were finding that we got more views when it was funny. Mm-hmm. So. Cool.
How about pricing right now? It's really interesting market because right now it's, beginning of summer here in Twin Cities.
Yeah.
So which we have that normal seasonal. It seems like there's more buyers and sellers in our market in end of February, March, and then it lasts for like 90 days, and then it kind of equalizes. Closer to right now. So how do you price right now? Because pricing today is different than 90 days ago.
It is for sure. So pricing right now, what we're advising our clients is pricing slightly under market value. So we're looking at comps. We're saying this is what the comps are. This is what the days on the market are. So we can give them a really good expectation of when they're going to sell their house. And if you price it at market value or slightly above market value, you're going to sit a little bit. So you're not going to get the best terms or the price. The perceived value goes down the longer the home sits on the market. Versus if we slightly underprice, then the value is there. The buyers are excited as long as the home presents well, shows well, they can move in. There's not things like holes in the walls or holes in the carpet or, whatever. And you're going to net more money. So we're seeing kind of two sides of the spectrum here. Either homes are selling right away, multiple offers. We just listed a home last weekend, 7 offers on the home, $500,000 price point. Or I've got listings that are just sitting where the clients are like, I want this. I'm not willing to price it lower. So kind of seeing it's either sitting for a while or it's selling right away in multiples.
Some tough conversations have to be had there then, huh?
Sure do.
Yeah. So it's a different market today than yesteryear.
Mm-hmm.
Man, so I've been really impressed on you growing from the outside in just 9 years. It's really fun, like to be able to watch it. One of the few people that understand building a team and the pains of that and the amount of introspection you have. Like leadership is really about studying Andy or studying Sara, right? Even more than it is about studying your employees and how you react and how you do that. So tell me a little bit about this journey. What was was there a fork in the road when you started hiring staff, like a pain point that you hit where you're like, oh my gosh, I need to leverage?
Yeah, absolutely. So every day, I've never really had like a goal of selling this or I want to achieve this. My why has always been a difficult conversation with myself. My thought process has always been just get up and work hard every day. And unfortunately, that when I started bringing people on the team, the need was there because I was just running fierce and hard every single day and kind of ran myself into the ground. And so leveraging was not only vital for the real estate aspect of things, but for personally. For myself, because I just ran myself right into the ground. And we had talked before where I was literally got myself to a place where I was like falling asleep driving to showings and got into such an unhealthy spot. And so bringing on that team to start taking things off my plate was a challenge for me because I'm super controlling. I do everything the right way, but vital, for the team growth and for myself. And health and all that.
Yeah, that's not fun. So you're just running way too hard.
Right, way too hard.
Yeah. And sometimes it can just be in your mind.
Yeah.
Where you have so many tasks
that
you spin your mind out of control.
Right.
And like you just wear yourself out.
Right. Yeah. Right? No, I got to a super unhealthy spot and I was like, I can't do this anymore. Something's got to give. So, we've talked before about, building a team isn't just about financial growth. That's always a nice benefit to it, but sometimes it's just buying back your time, right? So that it gave me the ability growing a team has given me the ability to really focus on my health and grow in that aspect. So
that's great, man. So you're balancing your family life.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
You got your real estate business.
Yep.
You own some real estate too.
Own some real estate.
Yeah. So you're balancing all that too.
Yep.
Right. I know you guys have a vacation rental that you're working on the side.
Yeah.
Right. So that's fun.
Yeah.
How is a Florida vacation rental market right now?
Ooh, it's terrible.
It is.
Oh, it's terrible. It's so bad because there's too many. So there's just and then we've got, a lot of people are trying to sell their stuff right now. So Florida's kind of just a hot mess right now. I think they have like 11 months of inventory on the market. So you see for sale signs everywhere. But the Airbnb market, specifically where we are in Sarasota, Florida, is very oversaturated.
So you drop your price then, or don't rent it at all?
For us, we don't have to rent it. So we have that luxury. So we don't like to reduce our price because then we tend to get younger single groups of people in that maybe want to party. We really want to focus on families to keep our house nice, and so we keep our prices higher regardless.
Do you think that's a national trend? Is the national trend of people buying Airbnb and VRBOs, is that changing?
Yeah, I think that there was our interest rate for our property that we bought, 3.5%, right? So think about all the people that bought a second home, turned it into an Airbnb, and I think that is nationwide. So there's an oversaturation in that market. And now you see other people look at us and go, oh, well, it would be fun to have a vacation property in Florida, but they can't afford to now. The interest rates that we have with the pricing reductions that have taken place in the Airbnb market to stay competitive. So
yeah, fortunately, Twin Cities, it's not really a big Airbnb, VRBO market, and we're way more stable.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So I always love watching some of your stories that you have online, and there was it a story about a cat in the wall?
Yeah.
On one of your listings?
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah. So, oh my gosh, how many years ago? I don't even know. Selling a house. We are almost to closing day. And I think it was 2 days before closing, my sellers are like, yep, everything looks good. We're moving out. One problem, I just want to let you know, we have a cat living in the wall and we can't get it out. We don't know where it is. I'm like, whatever, you're totally putting me on. This is a joke. No, we're dead serious. I said, well, how do you know the cat's in the wall? Well, it's our cat. We've seen it about 3 times in the last 5 years, but we leave food and, out and the food's gone every night. And so we're pretty sure the cat is still alive. I'm like, okay, help me understand what's happening here. So they had started to remodel a bathroom in the lower level and didn't finish it. And so there was holes in the walls and the cat would just go in the holes in the walls and go, who knows where? And so I called the buyer's agent. I said, slight issue here. We've got a cat in the wall. She's like, that's not a thing. And I'm like, I'm actually dead serious. It was Katie House. This is the first deal we did together. And I'm like, Katie, this is real. There's a cat in the wall. I don't know what to do. So we got catnip, we got tuna, we set live traps. I mean, we were trying everything. We couldn't get that cat out of the wall before closing. The buyers needed to move into the house, so they bought the house with the cat in the wall. They removed the food, the kitty litter box, everything. That cat didn't come out of the wall for 3 weeks. 3 weeks. So they called the sellers after 3 weeks and said, we're bringing your cat back. The sellers are like, you can keep it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy stories on that. We had another client together. I remember this the cigar smokehouse where you repainted the whole house. I think he shampooed the carpets, ran like the aerator thing.
Yep.
And then if you remember, mid-sale, I was helping him buy or finance his new place, and he started smoking again and stunk up the whole house again. In an amazing home, too.
It was a gorgeous home on the bluff, it would have been over $1 million had he not smoked in the house. And I just couldn't believe it. We spent, maybe $6,000 mitigating that smoke. And then for him to go and smoke in it, well, this is my effing house, I'm pretty sure he told me. And I said, well, that's fine. But guess what? You're not making $1 million on this property.
Yeah, that's really important. I think most people, that shows you an example of how important presentation is.
Yes.
Right? On how your house looks, how it smells. Is so important. Mm-hmm. And where some people, they almost can't smell like the lifestyle they live.
Right.
And they think it's normal.
100%. And I had to have some really hard conversations with people. I'm brutally honest, because guess what? If your goal is to sell for top dollar and I'm not telling you your house smells like dog, then I'm the problem, because you've hired me to do a job. So I have to be honest and tell you it smells like dog. You got to do it very carefully. There's an art to this when you have a conversation with someone and tell them that their house smells.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So tell me about how you get your buyer's agents up and running so quick. Like, so you got some agents on your team that are killing it.
Yeah.
And it seems like you're helping them get going pretty fast.
Yeah.
Is that because of helping them with leads, or is it just the opportunities because of the amount of listings? Yeah. How are you helping them win so quickly?
Yeah. Ooh, that's a really good question, actually. So one thing, we just actually brought on a new agent, and he got his first under contract in a week. And so kind of a couple things. We have some really strong kind of SOPs that we start out with, right? Standard operating procedures of when you join our team, these are the expectations. We have a 30-day kind of program, if you will. This is what you're expected to do on a daily basis. This is the effort that you, if you are telling me you want to sell X number of homes, this is what you have to do. And if you're not going to do this, you're not going to sell the homes. So there's a combination of things here. A social media strategy, calls that they have to make. There's different things that they have to do. But I think in addition to that, the reputation that we hold and carry, that is really beneficial to new team members as well. But I think that as long as the agent is doing all the things that, that we've put in that 30-day, 60-day, 90-day plan, they're going to have a lot of success. But they got to work hard, and that's what we tell them. If they don't work hard, if they don't put in the effort, it's not going to come. The business is not going to come because the market is oversaturated with agents right now.
Yeah, and it's hard on the buy side still.
It is.
There's a lot of multiple offers.
Right.
So you have to know how to properly. You're really good at multiple offers. Like when you're making offers.
Yeah.
Like what are the strategies that you typically you could share the secrets?
Yeah. Can I share the secrets
Yeah.
here? So when I'm writing an offer,
when you're writing an offer, I can think of when we have worked together and some people where you've actually told the buyer to not even write.
Yeah.
Like where if there's too much activity, you're not going to even win this one.
It saves them from heartbreak, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, my job is to set realistic expectations. And I'm going to tell them, I don't want you to put forth an offer that has no chance and then you're disappointed. Because even if I'm telling you there's no chance and we submit this offer, you're still hoping there's a chance. You still are, no matter what I say. So a lot of times, I'm just like, do you want me to save you from heartbreak here, right? So we look at all factors and the number of offers and where they're going to be. And I do a lot of communication with the agents. That's key. That's the top thing is the communication. And what are they looking for? And if we can't align with that, and a lot of times I get agents to tell me where things are at. And just through having good relationships. And so if I'm able to find out that information, I can save heartache on the other side. But things that we're doing to make our offer stronger, all the typical things, right? Communicating with the agents, asking what the desired close date is, writing the love letter. I never present them as a listing agent. I don't want to see them. But as buyer agent, all day long, you write that letter. Make it as mushy-gushy as you can, especially for people that have lived in and loved their house for a long time. If it's an investor, don't waste your time. We don't write love letters to investors. So I love escalation clauses, big fan of escalation clauses, but I think key here is a lot.
Can you explain that?
Yeah, an escalation clause. So we always write an offer. So let's say the house is $500,000. So we're writing an offer at $500,000, or a lot of times I go, we need to come in a little bit more, a little stronger, 515, 520, just depending on the situation. So let's just say we come in at 520. Now we're going to offer $5,000 over the next competing net bona fide offer up to a max purchase price of X amount. So let's say another offer comes in at $545 and we put a cap of $560. Well, our offer escalates to $550,000. We always do say, show us the offer that put this escalation clause into effect. So I really, really love escalation.
You have to write that right in, right?
I write it in.
It has to say you must disclose the other offer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I always write that in. Now here's the caveat here is that I have had only one agent, only one say, I don't have another offer, but we want your top price. What do you want to do? Or I don't have an offer that's going to escalate. They had other offers. They didn't have an offer that would escalate us to our price. Mm-hmm. But the seller saw what you're willing to do, and we want that price.
Ooh.
So that's the dangerous part, quote unquote, of escalation clauses is you're showing all your cards.
So they would give you a counter at that higher price?
Mm-hmm. And then it's the buyer's choice.
If you accept
if he wants to accept it or not.
Or counter back again, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, there's a dance there.
There is. So
that's scary for the buyer because you're
it is
like stuck in the middle of, I don't want to overpay.
Exactly.
Right. And what's fair to everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I always tell the client, well, you're going to have an appraisal, right? So if the value is not there, it's not going to appraise. So there is that safeguard. And then we renegotiate at that time. So there's a lot of moving parts with an offer. There's a lot of things that you have to look at. Who the other agent is one of the most important things in writing an offer, because you've got to find out, do they even like escalation clauses? Do they not? Some of the agents that have been in the business for a really long time are opposed to it. So if I put forth an escalation clause in that offer, they're not going to present that in the best light. So I need to know, do you like escalation clauses? Do you not? So there's a lot that goes into it, a lot of research, if you will, before you write an offer.
Mm-hmm. Man, I'm seeing wild multiple offer stuff right now. So I can think of, we're in multiple offers. I talked to the agent afterwards. We were in multiples, and every offer was under list price. I was like, what? Like,
no.
Yes, I've seen multiple offers where Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, you were offer number 9 at 20 grand over, and every single other offer was 20 grand over or more. They broke it in detail down for them. Wow. I was like, wow, but you had a inspection. Right. But you were still number 9 in price, so it didn't matter.
Right.
Were they nice enough to respond?
Yeah.
back?
I try to do that as well, because I think it's helpful in educating the buyer's client. They want to know, where was I, or, where was I in the process, and what was the thing that, didn't get me the offer. Mm-hmm. But speaking to that I just had multiple offer situation last weekend, and every offer that came in except for one had a home sale contingency, and the homes were not listed. And I could not believe it, because I would never have written an offer for my client in a multiple offer situation with a home sale contingency, with the home not being listed.
Really? So you recommend at least getting the house on the market? Do you ever recommend saying, get the pictures going and we just need to click the button?
Sometimes.
Sometimes?
Yep. It just depends on the client and where they're at and what the house is. Sometimes we list and say it's contingent on the buyer, the seller, finding the home of their choice. Really is dependent upon how sellable that house is, the price point that house is in.
Yeah.
A lot of factors go into that.
There is. So you're really good. I can see you really honing in on your relational marketing.
Yeah.
With your database, and you'll do some events and stuff. Tell me, what kind of events are you doing to be in front of your database right now?
Yeah. So we do a lot. So starting out in January, we send everybody out a lotto ticket or scratch off, I don't gamble or anything, so I don't even know what these things are called, but scratch off.
Everybody gets a scratch off?
Everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're sending out 500, I think.
Yeah.
A lot. Past clients, referral partners. Don't quote me on this. I have a marketing team. You'll have to ask them. But I'm pretty sure it's about 500 people that get that. So that happens in January. We typically do then a movie event in March. May, we do a Mother's Day giveaway on social media. June, we do a Father's Day giveaway. We typically somewhere in the summer do a Popeye gift. Last year we did lemon squeezer, or no, that was 2 years ago. Last year we did an apple slicer with a cute little, real estate saying. September, October, we do a ladies' night out bingo event. Huge event for us. Everybody gets invited to that, not just past clients, but
the community?
Moms group, community. We put it out on social media, so we have a significant, I think we had almost 200 people show up to it. So it's a huge event. And one of my listings right now, she said, I came to your bingo event. So that's how I found you. So we do that. And then new this year, we're doing Cookies and Santa in December. So I think that's what we do. And then we do a 12-day giveaway in December. So we do a lot.
Cookies with Santa. I love the cookies with Santa. We've done that quite a few times.
Okay.
And it's super fun.
Yeah.
My dad was Santa for quite a few years. Allie in the office last year, her dad was Santa. And we actually stack the pictures with Santa with a movie. It's like a holiday movie. Okay. So then we just put it right in the lobby. Right. Yep. And then most people, it's really they just want to take a picture on their phone and post it on social media.
Yeah.
Is the reality of today's pictures with Santa. So we just put it right together.
Okay.
And it's super. So we just do a double whammy. And it works awesome. You get raving reviews.
That's
Costco cookies for them while they're waiting in line.
Perfect.
Right. And then the movie event, the clients just love it.
Yeah.
It's
that's
just
super
fun for them to do, like 10 a.m. on a Saturday.
Right.
Come see a movie on us, bring grandma.
Right.
Right. Like,
Right.
And just a way to say thank you.
Yeah.
And
I
give
love
thanks. Yeah. And an easy way to stay in touch. 'Cause
Exactly.
then we get to call them and say, we want you to come to our event in appreciation of you being our client.
Right.
Like it's, I've been doing that for like 14 years.
Right.
And it's awesome.
Right.
So fun.
Yeah.
So fun.
No, it's a great way to stay connected with people. Like you said, now you're calling them, texting them, you're sending out postcards, right? Around most of our events, it's just an easy way to have an extra touch or three. To our
What do you do
clients.
culturally for your team? Like, what do you do to keep like a tight culture? Do you have a brick and mortar right now?
We don't.
Okay. So how do you meet?
Yeah. So we meet on Wednesday mornings. So either we'll meet in a coffee shop or on Zoom to stay connected. We also use it's a kind of a walkie-talkie app called Voxer. So we're always Voxering each other. We're kind of like a family.
What do you mean by like fuck? Like
Yeah, so it's called Voxer. So it's like I'll press a button and be like, "Hey guys, happy Friday. Who has fun plans this weekend?" Then everyone's responding. You can either type, text.
or like messages
Yep,
them out?
messages. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
So I don't even know where I found Voxer, but that's what we use to communicate.
Yeah.
It's our own little Slack, if you will. And so we do a lot of that. I'm just touching base with everybody. What do you have going on? My team will tell you. Actually, I just ChatGPT this like, what's my toxic trait? And it said, you're running at 150 miles per hour and you sometimes forget that your team can't read your mind. And so I have to slow down. And so I'll be like, hey, can you do this? And then I'm like, delete. Good morning. Happy Monday.
Yeah.
So I have to be really intentional about it. And it's not because my heart's not there. It's not because I don't care about my team. It's just because I'm running fierce and fast. And so the way that we build good culture is just staying connected, being involved in their lives, knowing what's going on, what's happening, making a good recipe, sending it out to them. Like, hey, tried this recipe, or like, I'm really struggling with this. Andrea, I know you're really great with this. Would you mind sharing your secrets? She'll share it with the team, right? So we just do a lot of personal communication with each other.
Do you guys do anything fun together?
We do. It's a little bit hard for us because we're on the same ship, rowing the same direction, but we're kind of a little bit spread out, unfortunately, because we've got Kelly, who's our cabin girl, who's an hour and 15 minutes away. Sunny, our ops manager, is in Bloomington. Andrea, our marketing person, her husband plays hockey 6 months out of the year, so she's in a different state 6 months out of the year. So events are a little bit challenging for us, but we've got some fun things coming up. They don't know about it yet, so.
Oh, nice. Yeah. It's just so good, even if you are bowling.
Yeah.
Or go to a park or just
Yeah.
do something to be able to hang out and
Right.
just have some fun.
Yeah.
And just let everybody forget about, the grind.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we do a lot of gifts in lieu of events and things like that because
Okay.
we can't get together. So I try to send, little thoughtful gifts as often as possible to let them know I'm thinking about them and appreciate them so much. Because I do forget to thank people sometimes when I'm running.
Yeah.
And so I have it on my schedule to, have those things kind of scheduled out and sent out so they know that they're really appreciated.
I like the walk around money. So when you have a good month, really, like if you go like break a record or high water mark,
That's a good idea.
it's like you give them a little walk around money.
Yeah.
And how does walk around money work in today's world, Venmo? Right? But so
Good,
but-
because I was panicked. I was like, I don't carry cash with me.
But if you can give cash, that too,
Yeah.
it makes people feel good.
It does.
Even if $500, all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, like this weekend I got
Yeah.
a little pep in my step with this little extra cash.
Yeah, I
Yes.
agree. I love that. I'm going to do that. Walk around money.
Yeah. So it's a term I learned from another like
Okay.
a really great leader. He talked about walk around money and how
Okay.
even a few $100 makes people feel special.
I love that.
Like of having that a little extra cash in your pocket to go buy something special
Yeah.
for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
what do you think? What are you seeing in the future now? Like in the next few years, what do you think? Where do you think the market's going?
Where's the market going? That's a really good question. I don't think the market's going to be slowing down anytime soon. I think that it was really slow last fall, winter, right? People were unsure of what the market was doing. There was hesitancy. And so they just took a pause. And then in January, February, March, it's like, nope, interest rates are where they are. They're not moving. They're not changing. Everyone was hopeful that they would change. And so people started moving again. So I think that the market's probably going to stay very similar to what it is now. We all hope that the interest rates will go down. But I think that we're probably seeing, we're pretty stable. The market's pretty stable where it's going to be at least.
Yeah, I agree. I think rates are stable, inventory's stable.
That is.
Prices are stable here,
Yeah.
right? It's like our new market.
Right
Sales
now,
are down 40%.
we're just going to be stable. And that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'd rather take this market versus Florida's market. So.
Yeah. Well, a stable market like this, we can tell people what to expect.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
It was the worst when like rates were going up.
Yes.
Right? Houses were sitting for a bit. Right?
Exactly.
Values never really went down, but there was an adjustment.
Right.
Like that happened. That wasn't fun for the consumer or fun for us.
Right.
Because we're over here second guessing like what is happening.
Right.
Now it's like, oh, we got vision. We can see
Right.
that it's probably going to grow.
Yeah.
I'm bullish. I think next 5 years is going to be amazing.
I think so too. But I think you made a great point. Like, it's really good when people know, the consumer knows what they can expect. And you're right. They know what they can expect right now.
Yeah.
So I think that is going to make our market really strong.
I agree. Well, thank you for your time.
Yeah. Thank
It's been
you for
awesome
having
getting
me.
to know you a little bit better.
Yeah, absolutely. Always a pleasure.